All right, hey you guys, hey fans. I'm about to go on my evening stroll, but I had to stop by the studio real quick to go ahead and talk about this author. All I gotta tell you is you need to grab your tissue because you will be crying. Grab your books because at the same time, while you're crying, you're gonna be writing some inspirational quotes. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome to Let's Meet the Author Show. Kick back, stay with us, enjoy the show. Now I gotta run, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Thank you for joining us on Let's Meet the Author, the online show that introduces self-published authors to the world. Let's join the conversation with our host, Galene, and today's guest author.
Hello, everyone. Guess who it is? It's me, Galene, your host for Let's Meet the Author, a production of Eagle-EyeVideomaker. This is a show where we get to go ahead and go behind the scenes in the book. We get to go ahead and discuss the author thoughts, the reason why they wrote the book. If you ever had a question of why did they do that, this is a show where you find that out. Today, I have some exciting news. I have another published author. Let me go ahead and pull it up. She is a published author of the book called She's Unmoved, Tales of My Life. She's a young lady. She was born in Somerville, New Jersey in 1985. Also, she graduated with honors from the River Bible Institute, now carrying a bachelor's degree in theology. The book that she wrote was inspired by her faith and real life events. Please, everyone, let's welcome Tiffany Mitchell.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey everyone, how are you?
Tiffany, it was a pleasure reading your book. I really enjoyed reading your book. So thank you again for taking time out of your day to come on the show and just talk about your book.
Thank you.
We're about to have fun because I enjoyed it. I really did.
Oh, thank you.
I really did. So before I give you what my favorite parts are, tell me, why did you write the book? Because everybody always want to know, well, why would the author write about this? And why would she or he mention this part in your book? So go ahead and tell me, first of all, the overall reason of why writing this book.
Awesome. Good question. Thank you for asking that. The reason I actually wrote this book, it was actually God inspired. So I've been through a lot of things in life, and I felt like being able to come through those things, I need to help someone else, because a lot of those things that I went through could have been so much easier if it wasn't in secret. So it was so freeing just to be able to release these things that I was able to release. It was therapy. Not only that, like I said, it's helped so many people already, and I know it's going to continue because there's a lot of things that I've been through that in here a lot of people just don't talk about. And if you don't address it, then you can't fix those things. So I figure even if it just touched or reached just one person, then
you did a job well done.
Yes.
Job well done. I know when we were talking before we started coming to the show, and I said, even if you receive opposition, you're doing the right thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because again, how we both talked about, if the enemy is not doing anything,
and then he's in agreement
with
what
you're doing. Your book, it was awesome. So I'm going to tell you my favorite parts in the book, right? First, so now I am not usually someone who will sit there and read a book of poems. Like I'm going, okay, I like stories, but I'm going, okay, a book of poems. I couldn't put it down, you guys. I could not put this book down. It was awesome. And I also like the title. Each title was a hashtag. Yes. So why do that? Why do each title, each title of the chapters as hashtags?
So honestly, I'm like, okay, God, you want me to write a story about my life. Most people don't like to read anymore. I mean, everything is so fast paced, 21st century. So it's like, well, Lord, I still need to get my story across, but you're telling me to do a book. So how am I supposed to get this across? Where do I start? Like, what do I do? And the Lord, it was almost like a download. And all I saw was like Instagram, social media. And I'm like, okay, Lord. And then he would show me the hashtags. They would come. And then it was like when hashtag would come, a phase of my life, I would see it. Right. And then it was like, okay, well, how can I get this to come across without having a 30,000 page book, you know, because I've been through so much and I'm so expressive. And it was like short stories, poems. Okay, short stories and poems.
Worked.
And it worked. And it just was like, okay, well, you know, most people, you go on social media, people have a post, you're going to take the time and read the post. And how do you find most of the posts? A lot of times with the hashtags. So it was like, okay, make it like posts. So they're literally like posts on social media with the hashtag. And it's the first biography that's actually laid out that way.
I loved it because I'm reading your story. I'm like, okay, this is a biography of real life events, and I'm not bored.
Yeah.
I'm not bored. I'm going, it's page turning. I'm going, okay, I'm turning the page. Oh my gosh. And like you say, it's impactful, and you packed a lot. I mean, I was just like, you packed a lot in this book. It was truly a joy to read. There were some sad moments, and I'm going, oh my gosh, and we're gonna go and talk about that. Okay. But it was awesome. It was raw. It was real.
Yes.
And I like that. I really like it. I can't wait for part 2 because we were talking when before the show started. We started talking about. Okay, so I'm asking her, hey, when is part 2 coming out? She just got part 1. I'm like, when is part 2 coming out? I can't wait. And when you have part 2, you come back on the show, right?
Yes, definitely.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, so again, as you mentioned, each of your titles are hashtags.
Yes.
So the first one is hashtag She's Unmoved. All right. So through it all, what I got from it is through it all, you remain strong.
Yes.
So let's talk about that.
Okay. So basically what She's Unmoved, most people hear unmoved, do you think like, oh, you never been through, you know, anything, but that's not the case. Basically what She's Unmoved is basically standing for is, okay, I've been through all these obstacles in life, but hey, I got Jesus in my boat, and even with the winds of the wave, it's going to calm. So it's like, even through all of the storms and everything, there always was a peace. So it's like, okay, the enemy threw this, you know, life through this, you know, but it's like, I'm unmoved because I'm going to keep going. I'm where I'm making it today because, like I said, you know, the shadow of death, meaning it's just a shadow. It's not touching you. I'm unmoved. You can't touch me.
I'm going, I loved it. I loved it. And that's pretty much the title of your book, She's Unmoved.
Yes.
It was wow. Yes. And then in your second one, you said, hashtag, this is my truth.
Yes.
That was, that particular passage or post or chapter was wow.
Yes.
Wow. So let's tell me about that.
Yes. So basically, this is my truth is because, like, for instance, even with putting out the book, it was so many things that came out that, of course, no one knew about. Family, close relatives, no one, friends, no one knew a lot of the things that I went through. So even with it coming out, there was a lot of, you know, kickback where, hey, that's not the truth, or, you know, you're lying, or hey, you know, that's just your truth. Yes, it's my truth. When it's your truth, there are no two sides of the story. It's only your side of the story. So this is my truth. These are things that I've experienced. But a lot of times, people don't want you to express your truth because it reveals their truth. Right. And that's kind of basically what it is. So it's like, hey, this is my truth. This is what I've been through. I'm facing it and I'm overcoming these things.
Love it. Oh my gosh, love it. And then this one, my favorite quote. Now this is my one of there's a lot of favorite parts I have in this book, you guys. A lot of favorite parts. But in this particular chapter, hashtag curious, my favorite quote in there was ready to throw the towel, ... God happens. Yeah. I was like, wow. I mean, no matter what, God happens. I'm about to give up. God happens. Things are happening, but God happens. And I love that part. I love it. So where did you come up with the idea to do it that way? Ready to throw the towel, and then you put ... God happens.
Literally, that's just it. Literally, that's just how it was. It was just like, you know, he literally comes in like, you know, in the book of Acts, like a mighty rushing wind. So literally, it's like, God happened. Like, he just came in, you know, and just turned my whole life upside down. It always happens that way. When you feel like you want to give up, when you feel like, hey, all is lost. Even when, because a lot of times people go off feeling, and God had to teach me, don't go off of feeling, because I'm always with you. You need to understand that, you know, it's not about a feeling. So it's just like, whew, okay, Lord, you're always with me. I'm going to make it through this, you know. So trust in God. Just honestly, that's all I can say. But everything that I went through, I refuse to be a statistic.
Exactly.
And, you know, a lot of people see me on the outside and they would never know. Never know.
It's funny you mention that because I'm reading, I'm reading a book and I'm going, but she couldn't have, she's too gorgeous. I'm like, no, oh my gosh. Is that really her? Wow. You don't look like, you don't look like what you went through.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I like to say, so if someone looks to say, oh, you're beautiful, thank you, God happened. I love that. You know, I might post that on my Facebook. I'm gonna give you credit for
Just
it.
like when they were in the furnace, they came out, there was no smoke, there was no trace of them being in the fire.
Exactly.
So it was just like that, hey, you look, I would have never thought she went through that, hey.
Never. Because I'm like, wow. So the next chapter, which is Eternity Becomes Real, that I cried. I cried. So we're going to talk about that soon, but we're going to take a short commercial break. Please stay tuned with us. We're on the show right now with Tiffany Mitchell, the published author of She's Unmoved, Tales of My Life.
Hey guys, how you doing out there today? I just wanted to go ahead and jump in and say hi to you guys and give you guys some great exciting news. Go ahead and join our new Instagram page at Eagle-EyeVideomaker LLC. Not only do you get to see great content, but also you get to advertise your businesses, your products, and your services. Go ahead, like all of our content. Go ahead and let us know what you think. Go ahead and join Eagle-Eye Videomaker.
Thank you for staying with us. Again, we are on the Let's Meet the Author show with Tiffany Mitchell. So the next two kind of got sad. So the hashtag Eternity Became Real, that's about your mom. And then hashtag Missing My Mommy. Again, that was again sad because you only have one mom.
Yeah.
You know, you only have one mom. And so when you talked about that, I'm going, wow, you know. So why include that part in your book?
That needed to be included. That was like basically the main thing that kind of sprung into a lot of things that I've been through in life. So the first time I've ever learned about faith for God or anything was through my mother. That's like when you're raising your kids, they learn everything from you first. You know, you basically in the beginning, you are their God, you know, so they're looking up to you. And I would see my mom, she went through a lot of things in life. My mom, you know, she was addicted to drugs when I was growing up. And we've been through a lot of struggles in life, but she never gave up her faith. And I will always see her pray. I will always see her read her Bible. You know, she would take us to church. And it was like, she was an inspiration to me. And I'm like, okay, who is this God and this Jesus that, you know, my mom keeps praying to? Because, you know, as a kid, you looking and, you know, she crying and praying. And then she always the first person in front of the church. Everybody want to give her the mic and hey, this is our first day here, so you in the pew trying to hide, you know, mom embarrassing you. But as you get older, you realize like she just, you know, the Spirit of God was upon her and she was just freeing herself. And it just showed me that regardless of what obstacles that people go through in life, like a lot of those things people can't really control, like you know, alcoholism, you know, drug addiction, those are sicknesses, those are illnesses. You know, you need the help of the Lord. You need your friends and your family to support you and be with you. So it's like I learned about faith in Jesus through my mom. And then when I seen my mother get sick, I had to tell that story because there's been so many children, you know, that gone through that, and because they're embarrassed, they keep it to themselves, and they don't express these things. A lot of people grow up in foster care, out on the streets, you know, when they lose their parents. And you know, I still remember the day that, you know, my mom told me that she was sick and I was a young child. But those types of events, it leaves a big imprint. And it's like to go through those things with my mom being sick and then with her passing, things changed. The way people treated us changed, you know, our atmosphere changed. So it kind of was a downward spiral into everything else that kind of happened in life once my mom got sick and she passed.
Wow. But it made you into who you are today.
Definitely did. Made me stronger.
Exactly.
Made me a good mom.
It really did. Which we're going to talk about, like your gorgeous baby. And then I like the next part where it said, hashtag he came like a mighty rushing wind. That's when you realize God is awesome. He is real.
Yes.
And you know, he's real.
Yes.
And there is something where you can be taught by your parents, your grandparents, your aunties, uncles, your pastors. You go to church or church. As kids, we're like, okay. And we just imitate. We're like kind of in that imitation stage. But then when you begin to know him for yourself, that's when you're like, oh snap, he is real.
That aha moment is kind of scary. You know, in a minute you're like, because it's almost like realizing that aliens are real. It's almost that kind of like when it happens, especially first time the power of God comes upon you, you be like,
it's like what? Yeah.
Like, he's real.
And you described that perfect in that chapter. I was just like I know he's real, but it's like, he is. Tiffany, he is real.
Yes,
I love it. And then that's when you start talking about, okay, power in the name of Jesus, being rescued from evil. And I'm going, wow. It's like, wow, you know he's real, and he can rescue you from anything. Like, God happens in everything.
In everything.
So that part I loved. And then that's when we said the hashtag, still your little girl. I said, oh my gosh, still daddy's little girl.
Yes.
So tell me about that part.
So, okay, so my father, and there's a lot of things, like even like growing up now, it's still that little girl that's on the inside of you, you know, growing up. So even though you have this adult body, we're kids in kind of adult bodies, you know. So it's like, I used to love my dad. I had a good relationship with my father, and it's just like when he got sick and he passed, you know, it was just like, what do I do now? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I'm still daddy's little girl through everything that I go through, you know, in life. And so I love my dad. I miss my dad. I had to make sure that, you know, hey, I express these feelings that I have for him, even though there were some things that I kind of, you know, went through in life that I felt like my dad should have possibly been there a little bit more to protect me. But it was like, hey, Dad, I still love you. I'm still, you know, your little girl. I understand, you know.
And that's at the, that goes right into the hashtag finally free, where there's a few hints about that hurt.
Yeah.
And again, that's another part. That was another tear jerker. You had me crying. I'm just saying, you had me crying. You had me laughing. You had me going, oh my gosh, awesome. And then I cried. And so, first of all, I want to commend you on being courageous, because not many people would have put all of that in their book. Not many people would have revealed that. And you're courageous, and you're honesty, and you're raw, and honest and raw, and I love it. But tell me, why did you talk about that part in your book about your dad and things that happened?
I felt like I needed to talk about that in particular because this happens a lot in families, especially the Black community, and a lot of times you stay quiet, you know, because it's like you don't want to shame the family, and you know, you don't know if anyone's going to believe you when you come forward with certain things. And it's like, you know, as a young child, you look for your father, especially as a little girl, to be your protector, you know, like my dad, you know, he's my king, he's the muscle, like anything happen, I'm gonna go get my dad, you know. It's like, and I've always saw my dad that way. So for me to go through the situation I went through, which was being molested as a young girl, and then actually getting the courage to come and tell my dad, you know, I was at the point like, oh, it's about to go down, you know, I done told my dad, you know, and for me not to see him respond the way that I, you know, thought or needed him to, you know, to respond, it left me so vulnerable, like, you know, to where it was like I needed to build a relationship with God later on in life in order to fix that, in order to build that trust again, you know, because I felt so open, so lost, so, you know, like you said, just raw, you know. And it's like, be careful. And this was just honestly just to give like a warning to people, be careful, because it could be, you know, your next door neighbor, the people that you leave your children with. It could be a family member. It's never at all. Even moms, watch your, you know, your little girls with your dads, or even your sons. You know, a lot of young men came forward to express to me after reading my book that they went through, you know, sexual molestation and, you know, different things like that. And just, we as children, and I say we because I still, but as children, you know, they need to feel protected, you know. So mommy, daddy, protect your children, you know, auntie, uncle, grandma, pay attention, be there for your children, you know, talk to them, be open, because a lot of times you take that guilt onto yourself, and even though you didn't do anything wrong, you think you did something wrong, and that's a lot of times why no one comes forward about the things that happen.
Wow. Stay tuned with us. We'll be right back. We're going to take another commercial break.
If you are a business owner and you're looking for an online marketing company to handle your company's online marketing, consider Eagle-Eye Videomaker.
We are back. Thank you for staying with us. Again, we are with Tiffany Mitchell, author of She's Unmoved, Tales of My Life. So the next chapters, it talked about your sister, and we talked when we were off the set, we were talking about your sister. So I'm gonna let you do the shout out to your sister. All right. So there is a strategic plan behind everything, what's inside the book and what's on outside the book. So tell me about that.
So my sister, I call her my baby, you know, we're really close, you know, growing up, and we, you know, lost our parents when we were younger. So I almost took like on a motherly role with, you know, my baby sister. And, you know, I always said like, for instance, like my sister's keeper, which I'll get into that. But before I do, I just would say, so even with my book, you know, and everything, she inspired me so much, you know, and she kept me going a lot. And it was like, okay, you know, God, I want to do something to honor you. I want to do something that's going to honor my mother as well, you know. And it was like, well, what can I do? My sister, she's blessed with a talent to be a photographer.
Nice.
You know, my sister Wendy. Hey, Wendy. So it was like, okay, so I let her take my photo for my first published book, and I was able to help my sister to be a published photographer. And of course she has many more now, but for me to say, hey, we did this together, you know, and just to look at this cover and just feel like my mom's looking down and saying, hey, good job, girls.
Good. Now, so if you notice, the front of the book is one particular color or shade, and then the back of the book is a different color. So there was a reason why. So tell us the reason why.
So the reason why in the front of the book, and it was kind of like, you know, I was saying a lot of people see me and they don't, you know, think the things that, you know, I would have gone through. So the beginning of the book is trying to, you know, give an insight into, hey, like, you know, there's a dark side, you know, was a gloomy side. You know, you could kind of see the sadness in my face, but the seriousness, but the determination as well. And then the back is saying, hey, I overcame, I'm still pushing, look at God, you know, the light, you see the light at the end of the tunnel, you know. So yes, that was the whole meaning of the dark and the light.
So there's a reason why everything. Love it. I love it. So in the, as we go further, it says, all right, I would marry her. Because I'm like, okay, this is you talking to yourself. Like, I would marry her. You're looking in the mirror. Yeah, I would marry her. I would definitely do that. Yeah, I love that. I was like, had me like, okay, I would marry myself.
Yes, you got to encourage yourself. Yeah,
you do.
You know, remind yourself, like, hey, I am a good catch. Like, you know, God did his job when he made me. You know, remind myself, because and it's important too, because if you can't honestly look at yourself and say, hey, I would marry me, then that means you need to go do some work.
Got some more God happening need to be happening.
Yes, do some work. If you don't want to be around you, don't
Exactly. Yes. And then it was just like his good thing. I said, okay, I should read this to my husband.
Yes.
Like, okay, baby, I'm your good thing. I loved it. I loved it. It was literally like a love poem.
Yes, to my future husband.
Yes, loved it. And then you went to hashtag I trusted you. So it was like, okay, I'm pouring myself out. I'm pouring my essence out. I'm pouring my love, everything. I'm giving literally myself to you. And then broken promises. So let's talk about that for a little bit.
Well, so I'm divorced, I was in a relationship for about 10 years, that's where I got my beautiful baby from. But like, I just felt like I did everything the right way. You know how everybody say, get married, then have the baby, do all that stuff. So, we went to Bible school, we were serving 7 days a week in church in the ministry, we lived separate before we got married, did everything right. And then one day my husband starts coming home saying, hey, I don't know if I'm ready to be a father or a husband. We years in, I'm confused. And you gotta think like everything that I've been through, and you hear me say all I've ever wanted was a family, to feel love. So it was like these were things that I was praying for, and it's like, God, you finally give me everything I want, and then now it seems like you're trying to snatch it away.
Yeah, because you said it, because you had a conversation like, well, why?
Yeah,
why go like, okay, this great thing and this great thing, and then snatch it?
Like, what happened, Lord? Like,
because I'm sitting there, it's like, well, God, why?
Yeah,
you make that question like, why?
Like, it didn't make sense,
Exactly.
It didn't make sense.
Yeah, but you got a blessing out of it.
Yes.
A beautiful, beautiful blessing.
Yes.
Her baby. So I saw the one where you said, #nothing like the love I have for you.
Yes.
So that was dedicated to your baby?
Yes.
Oh my God. So is his name Zion? Because you mentioned.
Yes. And his name was given by the Lord. So for years we didn't think that, I could even have, kids at all.
Wow.
So
he was a beautiful blessing.
Yeah. So nobody expected, like, we didn't think Tiffany got kids. So it was like, but then it got to the point where, I was in church and God saying, I kept hearing, like, you got to believe. You really want something, believe.
Right.
Like, if you believe God is who he say he is, then he can do it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I can get my baby.
Exactly.
Sarah got hers. I can get my
God
baby.
happened.
There's people in the Bible who God came, hey, Sarah, later on, hey, I'm going to give you,
Exactly.
so, okay, Lord.
She was old.
I'm like, Lord, if you can do it for them, and I'm like, Lord, I can believe that you can heal me, and this is a strong desire in my, like, Lord, I'm serving you, I dedicated my life to you, like, Lord, do everything the right way, like, I want my baby. Exactly. So it's like the Lord, he just started speaking to me and my husband, and he was like, come in agreement.
Wow.
As soon as we came in agreement about it, because you can't be divided.
Right, that's
so
true.
we came in agreement about
true.
it, and then we were out soul winning one day, and we passed by a church, and it was like Mount Zion or something.
Yeah.
We were just driving, and God was just like, "That's his name.
Wow.
His name."
Wow.
Like, I knew I was having a boy. I wasn't even pregnant yet.
What?
Yeah, and I knew I was gonna get pregnant. Yeah, I knew it was gonna be a boy. I knew what he was gonna look like. I knew all his talents, like everything. Yes. God, yes. Yes.
I was like, oh my, that is the beautiful boy.
Yes.
I'm gonna be like, I have to copy. Okay, what did she say? And give you credit whenever I talk to my baby.
Thank you.
Man, so we're about to go into a favorite part of my show. It's called Author's Pick, where you get to hear the author read a certain part of the book. Now, the good thing is that she's reading one of my favorite chapters. So this is a joy to actually have the author in real life read a favorite passage of the book. Well, my favorite passage. All right. So stay with us and you'll get to hear it.
It's now time for Author's Pick.
This passage I'm going to read is called Bless Up. Rise, time to shine. Rise, child of mine. Old things have passed away. Behold, all things have become new. The question asked by more than few is, will I leave you? The answer is, I am with you, in you, and will never depart from you. This is your time. Rise, time to grind. Many will see the bless up. Tell them where it all began. I just call him Jesus, more than a friend. No more guilt and shame when you call out his name. Bless up. Unexpected finances, Jehovah Jireh. Bless up. Sickness and disease are far from me, Jehovah Rapha. Bless up. Depression and anxiety, a thing of the past. Peace, Jehovah Shalom. Bless up. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, Jehovah Nisi. Bless up. Remind me, Lord, why you created me, to give you all the glory. Bless up. Bless up. It's time to shine, beautiful child of mine. Bless up.
Hi everyone, Michael Newsom here with Eagle-Eye Video Maker. And I've got some great news for you, but first I want to ask you a question. Have you ever wanted to have your own show? Your very own show? Well, Eagle-Eye Video Maker is making that possible for you. Whether it's a cooking show or an interview type show or spoken word show, it is your platform. You're the artist. Eagle-Eye Video Maker is making possible our studio so that you can come in, we will record your show in 1080p high definition, and our staff will do all of the production work, handle all of the lighting, handle all of the audio and the sound, just to make your show #1. So click the link below in the description box and get all the details. I can't wait to see you so that we can get your show started today.
Hello, I hope you enjoyed it. Again, that was my favorite part of the book because it was awesome. It wrapped everything up and it encouraged me. So, but now, why did you read that part of the book?
Well, it was your favorite. And a lot of other people's favorite as well, but it kind of just gives you a reminder of, hey, even though you went through all those things, like, bless up, you got this. Like, God's gonna bring you through. You got this shine as you going through.
Yep, I love it. I love it. So, the general theme how I got is things happen.
Yep.
God happened.
Yep.
And then bless up.
Yep.
I love it. I love it. One last part I just want you to do. I need you to hit everybody with a quote that when they hear this quote, they're going to say, that's Tiffany Mitchell.
Okay.
All right?
You sure? You ready?
I'm ready.
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, now, yeah, come close. All right, you listening? All right, you got a pen and pencil? It's important now. Unmoved.
Boom. I like it. I like it. Thank you again, Tiffany. I definitely appreciate you coming on the show. I love it. Every time when I hear the word unmoved, Tiffany Mitchell. All right. Again, this is Galeen with Let's Meet the Author show. All right. I believe we had a great time today. We was able to find out the whys, the reason behind your book. So, and that's what we do on this show.
Yes.
Find out the reason why and why. That's it. So I cannot wait to see you next time. Again, this is Galeen, your host with Let's Meet the Author show. Bye.